Who's with me? I nominate Trump, lifelong presidential appointment. There's layers to this. I mean, obviously, the first most obvious layer to this is that they want Trump to be a permanent dictator of their country, which is a pretty big red flag. But they're not even trying to veil their opinion on this when the picture they're using in nominating Trump to be a lifelong dictator of their country, they have Trump just doing a very, very clear salute from a very, very famous group of people from the 1940s. Special thank you to my YouTube members and patrons for supporting the channel and supporting my content. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another subreddit video. Today we are once again going to be returning to r/InsanePeople Facebook. Before we begin, I just very quickly need to apologize if there's any booming or thumping in the background. For some reason, my upstairs neighbors decide that Saturdays are the perfect days to start doing ballet in tungsten boots. Like, genuinely, I don't know what they're doing up there, but it is consistent and it is loud. And it's almost every weekend, pretty much. And it's always right when I'm trying to record. I don't know how they have a sixth sense of when I'm trying to record, but it always is. So sorry about that. Very quickly before we begin, I also wanted to mention that I will be streaming over at my Twitch channel in 2 hours as of this video going out, so go drop by there. I don't know what I'll be playing, possibly Deep Rock Galactic with George, possibly something else, I don't know. It depends on what happens. Who knows? I can't tell the future. That's like a week away from now of me recording this. But yeah, 2 hours as of this video coming out. Go check out my Twitch. Other than that, let's take a look at the subreddit, shall we? Do you boast about your fitness? Watch out, you'll become unavoidably right-wing. I'm not sure what exercise does for your body, but I do know what it does to your personality, and it's not pretty. I've never heard someone say that exercising makes you right-wing before. I am unashamedly extremely left-wing, right? I'm about as far left as you can get in many, many ways. And I can with certainty say that even at the fittest point I have ever been in my life in the past, the fittest I ever was, I was still extremely left-wing. Exercise doesn't change your political views. Caring about your health or wanting to be healthier doesn't change your political views. This is the weirdest post or claim I think I've ever seen. Since the assassination of my father in 1968, candidates for president are provided Secret Service protection, but not me. A typical turnaround time for a pro forma protection request from presidential candidates is 14 days. After 88 days of no response, and after several follow-ups by our campaign, the Biden administration just denied our request. Secretary Mayorkas, I have determined the Secret Service protection for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is not warranted at this time. Our campaign's request included a 67-page report from the world's leading protection firm detailing unique and well-established security and safety risks aside from commonplace death threats. Maybe, RFK, it's because you need to be a candidate who's actually got any semblance of winning. No one's gonna try and assassinate you because no one's worried about you becoming president, like, first and foremost. But second of all, I don't know if anybody noticed this while I was reading it out, and there's a very slim chance it's a coincidence, but I'm not buying it, that he just straight up put 1488 in his post here. Like, let's be real, that wasn't a coincidence. This dude's putting a Nazi call sign in his Twitter post. What's the correct way to use aged urine on my hair? I don't understand the aged piss community. Like, they will literally drink aged piss instead of getting a vaccine, and it baffles me. We piss stuff out because it's stuff our body doesn't want. That's the point of it. It's a waste product. I don't understand how people saw a waste product and gone, man, there's so many things in this that my body just needs, and drinking this is really going to improve my life. There's a reason you don't really see many animals, especially mammals, drinking their own piss. It's because it's a waste product. I cannot imagine how foul this person smells if they're talking about washing their hair with aged urine. That's grim. That's actually grim. Even if you taught kids that slavery benefited black people, what is wrong with that? It is known that God's allowed trials to create strength in people and make them better people. Nothing happens without the will of God, and slavery is one of those things that happened by the allowance of God, and anything from God is for the benefit of his creatures, humans. Nothing wrong with that at all. That is why we need believers in the world, top leadership roles, to don't lose God in the process of competing for glory and chairs and positions. Is USA a country under God? First of all, this was stroke worthy. Reading that was a challenge, but there's many ways to try and convert people to your religion. There's many ways to tell people that God is just and God is good, and saying slavery is good because God says so is not one of those ways. This is not how you convert people to Christianity. And if you are electing religious people who believe that slavery is good because God says so, I don't want more of those people in positions of power. I don't want more of those people in office. And to add to that, USA, right? Not a theocracy. The name of the game is tell me something I don't know. If modern women would simply stop spreading their legs for every Chad, Tyrone, Pookie, and Ray Ray they see and give more deserving men a chance, the dating marketplace wouldn't be so fucked and a lot less men would be misogynistic towards them. I said tell me something I don't know. I wasn't expecting to see a nice guy in today's video, but here it is. We get it. You're jealous of the fact that other people get laid and you don't. I understand, okay? It's probably pretty hard to be an incel, but that doesn't justify misogyny. And women are allowed to sleep with whoever they want. And ultimately, if you are misogynistic because a woman is sleeping with other men, you would be misogynistic if she wasn't doing that. The reason she's not sleeping with you is because you sound like a foul human being. That's why you can't get dates. That's why no women want to be with you. It's because you're a foul human being that blames women for the fact that you can't get a date. Look inwards and think, actually, maybe it's my misogyny and awful personality that's the problem, and not the fact that women actually want to enjoy their lives. Crazy thought, I know. I warned about this years ago. Once you allow one perversion, you are compelled to allow all perversions. Social acceptance, LGBTQ, pedophiles, and the Democrats. Right, I've just got to point out, so they're saying that the Democrats and LGBTQ are allowing pedophiles to make it into society. So here's a tweet from H. Pearl Davies, a very conservative person on the internet, saying 16-year-old chicks are hotter than 26-year-old chicks, okay? So what about her? Also, what about Lauren Boebert's husband flashing underage girls at a bowling alley, who Lauren then married? She was there getting flashed. What about investigators examining Matt Gaetz for sex trafficking a minor, and the fact that he is still in the GOP payroll, the fact that he's still at rallies and still has people like MTG standing with him at said rallies? What about Donald Trump boasting about meeting semi-naked teenagers in beauty pageants and how he said that he could get away with walking into the dressing room to inspect beautiful women, underage women? What about the GOP candidate that quits after cops caught him doing illicit things outside of a preschool? What about West Virginia Republicans blocking child marriage bans? What about South Dakota GOP legislative candidate charged with abuse for allegedly exposing a minor to sexual grooming behavior? And finally, what about nearly 1,700 priests and other clergy members that the Roman Catholic Church considers credibly accused of child sexual abuse are living under the radar with little to no oversight from religious authorities or law enforcement? And that's only scratching the surface, okay? I picked out just a few, but there are hundreds of these, okay? All this is proving is that conservatives' number one strategy and number one weapon when it comes to politics and movements is projection, okay? And projection and hypocrisy. The GOP party is full of pedophiles, and they're full of people that support pedophiles. They're full of people that forgive pedophiles. And you know what they spend all day doing? Claiming that their opponents are pedophiles, okay? When was the last time you actually heard about a drag queen get arrested for pedophilia? And then, when was the last time you heard about many claims come out about anyone in the church, really? It's common, and it happens, and there are lots of pedophiles in politics, and every single one of those pedophiles are accusing other people of being pedophiles. The GOP party will point fingers at absolutely everyone apart from members of its own party. You know what would happen if any of these people were members of the Democratic Party? The Democratic Party would condemn them. It would banish them. But not the GOP party. No. They have solidarity with pedophiles. If it was legal to beat your wife, do you think more or less wives would be beaten? Sure, but it would also mean they would be more respectful and polite. Funny how that works, huh? So they wouldn't be beaten because they would be respectful. Look, dude, you look like a jumbo pencil, okay? It's understandable that the only way you can get a woman to respect you is through violence, but there are other ways, right? Maybe treating someone with respect and they will treat you with respect back, right? Having a healthy relationship with someone where you both actually enjoy being with each other and they're not just scared of violence from you. Like, I understand that your hair is so pointy that you could probably cut your wife with it, but like, it's not her fault that you look like a jumbo pencil from a preschool. This dude really do be looking like a jumbo pencil. He really does, right?
Yeah.
And that's not your wife's fault, dude. I get it. You're probably pretty conscious about that fact, but it's not her fault and you shouldn't be beating her over it. Or over anything. Really. I'd say copper is doing its job and helping release all the toxins from my body. Those aren't toxins, buddy, that's just oxidized copper. If you're wearing a copper wristband and it's making your wrist turn green, it's because that's what oxidized copper looks like. You know the Statue of Liberty and how she's green? She's made of copper. You know all of those like church buildings with towers and bells and stuff and they're always like green? It's because copper oxidizes. It's why whenever you buy a cheap ring or cheap jewelry online and it makes you go green, it's because it's oxidizing or reacting with the oils in your hands or both. It's not your body releasing toxins. It's just oxidized copper on your skin. This has the same vibe as the person that was like, oh, this ring absorbs negative energy and when it breaks it's because it got full and whatever. And I just love that we've got copper bracelets and like breaking bracelets and breaking rings and all of those kinds of things where it's just making jewelry out of the cheapest, shittest materials we could find and then selling it as a feature. You're wearing a really cheap shit material for jewelry as jewelry. It's staining your skin with oxidized copper and they're selling it as a feature to you. You're so stupid. It's so dumb. Once again, they'll do anything to avoid taking vaccines, right?
It's used in the aquarium industry because it gets rid of invertebrate parasites. So there you go, that's one thing copper is useful for. Because the invertebrate's blood is made of copper, so it basically kills the invertebrates.
Wow.
Yeah. Not good for anti-vaxxers though, that's not not endorsement.
My neighbor is leaving and he's taking the kids with him, so it's gonna quieten down now. Where I come from, 1 + 2 = 12. That's the mentality we need to have to take back this country. Well, Laverne, it sounds like where you come from, people are f***ing stupid. 1 + 2 doesn't equal 12. That's not how maths works. Anybody that's passed basic school lessons, right? Like junior school or what's it called in America? What's junior school? Elementary school? Whatever it's called in America. Kindergarten. I mean, yeah, even kindergartners know that 1 + 2 = 3, right? Like, it's not difficult. I mean, this is Laverne Spicer I'm talking about here. This is the woman that said that Jesus doesn't use pronouns. Jesus famously saying, I am he in the Bible. Need I say more? Making the connection yet? Well, the first one is the tip of a hypodermic needle. The second one is a viper's fang. The third one is a spider's fang. And the fourth one is the stinger of a scorpion. Wow, it's almost like something pointy with a hole in it is an efficient way to deliver a payload. I wouldn't actually be surprised if when designing hypodermic needles, they actually referenced fangs and like stingers from creatures. But yeah, the vaccines and hypodermic needles are used to either draw fluid out or to inject fluid in. So having a needle with a hole in it is an efficient way of doing that. Yes, in nature, it's usually to inject venom, but like just because that's a use in nature doesn't mean that's the only use for it. The needle being shaped some way doesn't automatically make what it's injecting have that purpose. And I mean, yeah, you could use needles for nefarious means, you know? There are plenty of assassinations in history where they injected people with poison, but like being like, it's shaped the same way as fangs, therefore it must be poison is just pretty dumb. It's pretty dumb. This past week, CPB agents seized over 650,000 fentanyl pills at the southern border. Our nation is less safe under Joe Biden's open border policies. Senator Marsha Blackburn, this is a actual political official in the United States who doesn't know what the word seized means. They seized 650,000 fentanyl pills, right? That's a lot of pills, yes, but those are pills that they caught, that they stopped from getting into the country. You're saying the nation's less safe under Joe Biden's policies, but he's catching more of these things than any other president. So what it sounds like is it's a much safer policy than it's ever been. And the final post. I spent the last 7 years of my life working with Trump to make the GOP a more welcoming place for gays while also being anti-groomer, anti-woke, and pro-religious liberty. I've even worked with DeSantis on this agenda. This ad is a slap in the face and makes any LGBT person supporting DeSantis look like an absolute idiot. Whoa, I spent the last 7 years of my life working with bigots, and they're still bigots. How could this happen? Like, no way, dude, you worked with a party full of racists, fascists, and bigots and you didn't change their minds? That's crazy. But honestly, if this isn't the wake-up call that anybody, any gay person, any queer person supporting the GOP party could possibly need to realize that they are working with the wrong party, if this isn't it, I don't know what is. Like, I don't understand how you, as a gay or queer person, could work with a party full of people that hate you for existing, okay? Because let's be real, the large majority of the GOP hate gay people just for existing. I don't understand how you could work with those people for 7 years and not see that, and suddenly see one ad from DeSantis and go, man, what a slap in the face this was. Ignoring all of the anti-gay bills that have happened in the last, decade, ignoring everything that's happened. This is the slap in the face for you. And what's even worse is this person is probably still not going to take this as a sign that he's working with the wrong people, that he's working with people that hate him, because he still sees himself as anti-woke and pro-religious liberty, as if gay people hate religion, which they don't. There are plenty of gay religious people. It's the other way around. It's religious people that hate gay people. Like, the reason you don't see many Christian gay people is because the Christians cast them out and ostracized them. But I don't understand how you could work with these people and not see it, and then be like, man, what DeSantis is doing is a real slap in the face. Like, you've been slapped in the face for the last 7 years, my guy. You've just been taking it. It's ridiculous. And that's where I'm going to end the video. I hope you have enjoyed. As always, I have a Patreon in the description down below, or equally you can click on that join button on the channel to support me if you would like, but by no means should you feel like you have to. I'm going to keep making content regardless. Special thank you to all of the YouTube members and patrons that do support me. All of you are incredible, wonderful, amazing people, and it genuinely helps so much. So thank you to everyone that does. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, everybody. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.